blood of Christ, the word the blood of Christ in the Bible, that phrase is referring to Christ being the sacrifice that was represented by an animal in the Old Testament. When they cut the throat, the blood would come out. And Jesus Christ did not die by bleeding to death on the cross. He did bleed. He did bleed a lot. But he didn't bleed so much that he died from bleeding to death. The animal they would slit the throat, and the blood would come out of the animal. And it would bleed to death. And they would fill up these basins, and they would utilize them in the Levitical offerings. And when they took that blood, they would pour it on top of the mercy seat, and that, the righteousness and the justice of God, the two angels are looking down, covering themselves, and they are looking at man's sin at first because of the broken tablets that are inside, because of Aaron's rod that budded, and different things, articles that are inside there, a pot of manna, Israel's rejection of God's grace. But the broken tablets are symbolic. When Moses came off of Mount Sinai, he saw them acting a fool, and he threw down the tablets that represent man's sin. They also represent Jesus Christ's perfect character. The first set of tablets was broken by Moses in anger, representing God's wrath. And then they took those broken tablets and they put them inside of that, in the Ark of the Covenant, that represent mankind breaking God's perfect law. The second set of tablets represents Jesus Christ fulfilling the whole law. They stayed together. Now, when they looked down, they seen man's sin, but then you put the mercy seat on top, the blood goes on top of it. Now the justice and the righteousness of God see the blood of Christ. That's the cross. Okay. So what happened at the cross is not a physical death, happened after. Jesus was hanging on the cross and he said, Tetelestai, meaning it is finished. So what is he saying right then? Well, he's still alive physically. And then it says, and then he, by his own will and power, gave up the ghost, or the Holy Spirit, and his own life, gave it, then he let it go. So if he's still physically alive, his physical death did not provide salvation. It was his spiritual death.